Evening, everyone. I went live for 5 minutes and then I noticed chatting to the comments, no one was answering me back or listening to anything I was saying in the comments. So I guess it didn't work. But thank you for coming back over to this one. Looks like we've lost all the viewers that we had on that one. It is what it is. It happens, doesn't it? Anyway, thank you guys for joining us as usual. We got a win. And it was a better performance from United, but it was a bit of a game of two halves, wasn't it? It was poor in the second half, but we got the game done and dusted in the first half. Couple of good individual performances for Sancho, McTominay, probably McTominay being man of the match. My dad didn't come to the game tonight, so Ronaldo came with us instead, and about 6 or 7 minutes in, we both turned to each other and said, McTominay's not that guy. When he was trying to play some line-breaking passes. And then he went on and scored a screamer, nearly scored another, and just had probably one of the best performances at a United shirt. He was all action. He was a brilliant performance from McTominay, so fair play to him tonight. Maguire still had a bit of a worrying one. There was something I was explaining, actually, when I realised that the old stream wasn't working. And what I was sort of going on and explaining was something I saw from Burnley, which I'd said to Ronnie at the time, this is something that you got to target if you're them, is you have to drag Maguire out of the way. Maguire is your threat. So the way you drag Maguire out of the way is when Luke Shaw gets forward, because he does, sometimes he doesn't manage to get himself back, you explode into the sort of space that he's left behind, and they did that. Because you explode into the space behind that fullback, that centre-half has to come across, particularly when Matic, who was the midfielder probably tasked with covering over that, wasn't managing to get over and cover his space. So that means Maguire has to go and cover. And that leaves Chris Wood, who is a genuine mountain of a man. An absolute disgrace of a man. He's going up against probably Wan-Bissaka or usually your second strongest header in terms of Eric Bailly. Now, they did manage to pull this off, I think twice. And luckily nothing really came of it. But Maguire's in an area at the moment where he's annoying me. Like, he can just turn around and pass it to the other centre-half, and I'm going to be tutting when he does it. And there's nothing wrong with necessarily what he's doing, but he's annoying me. And it's like everything he does is annoying me at the moment. And we should be good enough to keep clean sheets against Burnley, and I think that would be the start of things to start really building on. It's a win, and it's 10 out of 12 for Ralph Rangnick in the league, which is great. And it's good to see picking up points like that. But it's what you should expect. And it was nice to actually go to Old Trafford and see United score an early goal and then score a second and start to actually build on these sorts of things. So, you know, I'm getting Ronaldo texting me here telling me all the problems with this stream. I know, I'm doing it on my fucking own because everyone's still on holiday. So just roll with it. It is what it is. Do I want Phil Jones on? No. I don't want Phil Jones on. But that shouldn't... The options at Manchester United shouldn't be an £80 million failure or Phil Jones. There should be more fucking options at Manchester United, shouldn't there? Shouldn't there? I mean, really. Thought Jadon Sancho looked bright. Had the opportunities to run with the ball. When Mason Greenwood played a phenomenal pass for him, right into his path, and that should have been a goal. Didn't manage to get it off there in the end. Didn't have that extra gear to go to be able to put him beyond the last man and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But, you know, not bad. This shouldn't be the benchmark of where it is, but considering how bad United have been lately, just either side of Christmas, really. We win our game in hand, we're only a point off where Arsenal are after how good they've been. So, yeah. People talking in the comments about trying Ted and Mengi out. Obviously, I agree. It's hard to judge where a player is coming from the 23s because the 23s is so far off what Premier League is. Now, he did look good at Derby, and the Championship, I think, is a league you can look at and go, how does that translate to the Premier League? Well, pretty good, actually. It does translate pretty good, the Championship. Bakuda in the comments says, I didn't think Aaron Lennon was still playing football till he scored. Yeah. M.A. Samad says, Mason was class today. I'm actually going to disagree with you on that. I didn't think he was. I think he's still playing for himself in a big way. When he gets on the ball, if it's not to shoot, when he's looking to shoot, that's the only thing he does with decisiveness. Anything else, I think he dwells on it a little bit too long. And maybe that's better than the rushing that we've seen from Bruno Fernandes lately. It's just my opinion. I think that Mason's still playing for himself just a little bit too much. If it's political, it's Harry and Rafa. Yeah, it is. Maguire looks like he's never going to pass too slow. I was saying during the game, Tarkowski's the better one out of the two number 5s here. Maguire probably aspires to be Burnley's number 5 because that's what I think his level is. Brandon says Mctominay was top today, better with Matic than Fred, gives him fluidity to get forward, knowing Matic is there rather than Fred. I think there is a calmness that is brought to the table a little bit with Nemanja Matic. It's just a shame that he can't play more than once in every 3 weeks. Why hasn't Jesse been given a proper go, says Anthony? I don't know. Maybe it's his reluctance to sign on. I mean, I know nothing about the situation with what's going on with Jesse. And I thought, when you try and think what is a Ralph Rangnick player, Jesse Lingard fits that mould immensely. So I find it a bit of a surprise he's not been given any sort of opportunity, You could see Harry being told by Ronaldo not to hit the ball over the top so much at half-time. Yeah. How is he having to be coached into this sort of thing? There was at one point, I turned to Ronaldo and said, it's just fucking goalkeeper longies at the moment. You can't go and play against Burnley like that. It's so unintelligent of a way to try and play. You're going to put a long ball up to Tarkowski. That's like saying you're going to try and outpass Barcelona in 2008. No, you're not. Do I think Bruno should come back and start against Wolves? I think the fact that we didn't see Marcus tonight, I think they're probably both going to be starting. Hader says, can you tell what's going on with Donny? I think he will fit Rangnick's system well. I'm not sure. I think he's a good ball player. And I think that's an attribute he can really bring. But the all-action energy that you got to bring there, I don't think he has it. I don't think it's a coincidence that he's been available and there's been rotations across midfield. And he plays a system with 4 midfielders. We probably haven't got 4 perfect midfielders and he's still not managed to force his way into the team. Someone's got to make somewhat make sense here out of this. Cage says, what formation suits us? The 4-2-2 isn't viable if we can't get the ball into the final third effectively. You got to buy some midfielders, haven't you? If you want to play 4 midfielders, you got to buy some because we don't have any. Did you notice we didn't play out from the back on goal kicks as much? I didn't actually. No, that would be something I have to look back into. One reason for that could have been and this might have been a tactic from Sean Dyche, and it would make a hell of a lot of sense if it was. And I think they relaxed their press a little bit once it was obvious what we were doing successfully. But Burnley don't typically play such a high line. They don't typically press you as high in those sorts of areas. They like to drop off and almost invite you to try and go long against them a little bit. Well, they wanted United to go long, I think, because they knew they'd absolutely destroy us by going long, and they tried to press us quite hard, and we did okay playing through the press, and then they just stopped pressing us. They caused us trouble, but we were still playing out there. We weren't dropping clangers in the final third, I think is what I would say. Ralph is very coy on transfers. He should be. What do you expect him to go? Here's my shortlist, and that's what I'm trying to get, and here's why. And here's who I'm trying to sell as well, just in case you're wondering. De Gea was just pinging some of them. Yeah, I don't like it when he does that. Getting the captaincy off Maguire is going to be something United need. De Gea should hold this, says Kaka John. I have a blank check to sign 2 players. Oh, he's deleted it. No control in midfield again. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. And I think that's when it's something that's been iterated so strongly from Ralph Rangnick. You think that's something that United are going to have to try and discover and find and develop in the team, don't it? Should Bruno be benched? Yes, he can be. Pogba would be good in this formation if he might come back. I actually agree. I think he would. Certainly as one of the forward 2. I think it would suit him right down to the ground. The middle, the more advanced attacking midfield too. You got a super chat here from K Robbo, says Scott was class tonight. Is this because Fred's absence, or is it actually this player when he's given the role to get forward? If so, we need more. I think a little bit was because it was Burnley. I think he was given a bit of a license to playing alongside Matic. He's had some quite effective performances in physical games in the past, and I think I said in my preview, this is the sort of thing which you can see why Matic and Mctominay get picked, because of their height in these games and the physicality in these games, and this is what they're going to be doing. How is Aaron Lennon still playing? Surely he must be 50 from now. I don't know. It feels like he's been around forever, doesn't it? Joseph says, love from Chicago. Appreciate it. How's Chicago this time of year? Imagine that's pretty cold. Delo over Wan-Bissaka at the minute. Delo came on right wing, didn't he? That was a strange one. Delo didn't... Wan-Bissaka did nothing to claim that place back. Someone asked me earlier, actually, do I think Shaw has claimed a place back from Tellez? I don't actually think he has claimed it back. I don't think he played poorly tonight, but there was still two sides of his game. Going forward, I think he does look quite good. But I think defensively, there's still so many problems with him. Not don't concern us, but thoughts on the Lukaku bomb? I think we're trying to get him on Vibe with 5. I think we've been trying to get him on Vibe with 5 for a minute, and I think we can tease some more of that stuff out of him. Yeah. Lukaku's got a lot to say. He's been there, what, 6 months? It's not what you want to be hearing from a £100 million player, is it? Extend Cavani now. I get the impression Cavani's going to be going, you know. If I was Rangnick, how would I approach selection and discussions around Maguire? He didn't give him the captaincy, so he doesn't have to honour it, in my opinion. He can play and say what he sees. And surely, what he's seeing is a fucking liability in defence. Now, I understood why he played tonight. Coming up against the sort of threats that Burnley are going to offer, he makes a lot of sense. You want him in there. If it's him against Chris Wood, I think you're going to do all right. You're not certainly going to get bullied. Certainly like Lindelof might have done. But he's no good when he comes out into the channel. He just looks awful. Him trying to tackle Aaron Leonard, as we saw, laughable. He just gives me the impression he doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm sure on some levels he really, really, really does know what he's doing, but I just get this impression he doesn't know what he's doing at the moment. Thoughts on Ed Woodward staying? Much respect, brother. I don't know how. Woodward is the whole reason that we're in this entire pickle in the first place. He was part of the bank that managed to loan and saddle the club with all the debt in the first place. And then you look at the decisions he made as CEO, how many of them have been long-term beneficial to the club? Can't be many, can it? So I would have to say it makes literally zero sense as to why he's been given the opportunity to stay on. 0 cents. Righty, I'm going to wrap it up there before it gets too late. But cheers for tuning in, as always. Someone in the comments there saying, stop the constant slander against Maguire. 1, I don't think you listen to what I've just said tonight. And 2, I also think he's required discussion around his performances. He was poor. Are you saying he wasn't? Are you saying he hasn't been? Are you saying he's been a worthy captain and value for 80 million? Because you are wrong, in my opinion. And on that note, I'm going to call it a night. So cheers for everyone for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new. We'll do 5 things in the morning. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.